muy photo apparat. Let's take the lens cap off, is that right? Lens cap off.
This is a view of Steve Robinson from Soichi Noguchi's helmet camera. Robinson taking a picture of Soichi Noguchi as he's headed back into the payload bay of Discovery.
Viewers as well from here. Steve, allowing
Video does not do justice to the capability that the analysts have after they take this raw data and input it through two separate screens. They have a level 1 screening effort and then a level 2 screening effort. You can see a little white spot on that T-seal. That's actually a repair, a standard repair for that T-seal area.
Gina Sinceri, ABC News for Wayne. Practically,
we can live with this. On the other hand, this is bigger than we've seen before. The EVA guys have gone out and are putting together a plan that we'll hear about tomorrow, and if it's relatively simple, I mean, why worry?
In picture we had shown before with the protruding gap filler, there was some discussion as to whether or not this was a ceramic shim as opposed to a gap filler. Our subsystem team has been able to go off.
This flight, we have literally put the orbiter thermal protection system under microscope. You know, if you look at some of those pictures and you can count the threads in the fabric cloth that was built up, that's the level to which we have looked at the underside of the orbiter, and it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented period that we looked. Much less that we looked in such detail and such depth. We have always just assumed the thermal protection system to be good. We know that we need to look now.
On all these 112 previous successful flights that the shuttle was able to land.
We always said that the toughest part of the rescue flight is going to be coming to flight rationale to launch another shuttle when we have had damage that requires us on the previous flight. And I would tell you that this case is not any different than what we trained for. We've had damage that at least we've lost foam off the external tank that gives you pause before you launch the next shuttle, whether it's for a nominal flight or for a rescue flight. The risk here on going underneath the vehicle to pull these thermal shims out is we hope relatively remote that we would do any further damage, but it is surely something that you have to think about.
Imagery that was done, it's not reflected in this chart, but this graph there is actually a composite of a few.
Yeah, the Columbia accident made us realize that we had been playing Russian roulette with the shuttle crews, that we have been very, very fortunate in the past that the foam did not cause critical damage prior to Columbia because it clearly was coming off from areas where it clearly had the capability to do catastrophic damage. And so that's something that I've thought about an awful lot for the last 2.5 years, and it's something that we want to prevent in the future. And the fact that we were not entirely successful in preventing large pieces of foam from coming off is something that we have got to pursue with renewed interest in to solve it before we fly again.